Several tons of concrete and 3 years of painful memories.
It's impossible to drive by it and just not think about it.
As what's left of the failed FIU pedestrian bridge is torn down. As President Biden gets his third dose of Pfizer,
victory is what's at stake.
He also tries to inject a boost into his domestic agenda. And out of this world news for the Florida economy,
investing $300 million in the Space Coast
as another private space company settles in. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
A very good morning, South Florida. I'm Christopher Gomez.
And I'm Danelle Dukin. Today's Tuesday, September 28th, 2021.
From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
Gruesome discovery, searchers finding the body of a man who was listed as a person of interest in the disappearance of a teenager from South Florida. The man who investigators believe entered Mia Marcano's Orlando apartment is now dead.
Orange County deputies split into groups on day 3 of the search for the 19-year-old who grew up in Pembroke Pines and went to Charles Flanagan Senior High. Authorities said the person of interest in this case, 27-year-old Armando Caballero, was found dead at a Seminole County apartment complex yesterday.
That a maintenance-issued master key fob, which Caballero was known to be in possession of, was used to enter Mia's apartment Friday afternoon at about 4:30. This would have been about 30 minutes before she finished her shift.
Investigators believe Caballero committed suicide and are now reviewing video from the apartment complex.
Demolition crews returning to Florida International University this morning. As the network's Alejandra Garcia reports, it's day 2 of removing what's left of the pedestrian bridge that tragically collapsed in 2018.
More than 3 years after the FIU bridge collapse that killed 6 people, crews have started to demolish the final parts that have remained standing throughout the years as designs for a replacement bridge have started to move forward. 6 people were killed when the bridge near Florida International University came crashing down on March 15, 2018 at Southwest 8th Street and Southwest 109th Avenue. There are parts that are still remaining on the FIU side and across the street, but the demolition on the FIU side will begin first, and the process is expected to last about 6 weeks as long as weather cooperates. Some FIU graduates who were students at the time of the collapse have not forgotten the tragic incident as the remaining structure parts are being taken down.
The rest of us, and you would never think that could happen to someone that you know. So it definitely took a really big toll on me. Now I drive by that street every day and it's impossible to drive by it and just not think about it.
FIU students who have been walking across the main roadway say a new bridge would be good for their safety, but it would also bring back memories of the tragic collapse.
I think it's sad that they were taking it off because, you know, people did die there, and that is a little remain of what they did start it, because that was big for the school when they made it, because that is kind of a sensitive subject to build a new one on top of something that has so much death and, I guess, sadness.
Florida Department of Transportation says the replacement bridge will provide a safe pedestrian crossing from Florida International University's main campus to residential towers and student housing. The design for the new bridge that will stretch over the same highway started earlier this year, and the construction for it is expected to start somewhere around in 2 years. For the South Florida Media Network, I'm Alejandra Garcia.
After weeks of testimony and jury deliberations, R. Kelly is convicted on racketeering and sex trafficking charges. The jury, made up of 7 men and 5 women, made their decision after a month of testimony and evidence. The prosecution brought more than 40 witnesses to the stand in the trial in Brooklyn, New York. Prosecutors said Kelly had physically and sexually abused women and girls.
This morning, President Biden is trying to give a boost to his domestic agenda, one day after getting his COVID booster shot. The president got his 3rd dose of the Pfizer vaccine on live TV yesterday, and he's encouraging eligible Americans to do the same. The event comes after Democrats fight amongst themselves over the White House's multi-trillion-dollar proposal for the country.
Things to do: the debt ceiling, continuing resolution, and the 2 pieces of legislation. If we do that, the country's going to be in great shape.
The president noting the monumental challenge ahead of him and warning the timeline could slide even further. Progressive House members want firm commitments from their moderate counterparts in the Senate on the much larger spending bill.
Florida's economy getting sent into orbit this morning after a big announcement by big names in space satellites. Governor DeSantis announced yesterday the world's largest satellite manufacturing facility is being built in the state. It's good news for Florida's Space Coast as NASA continues to turn over responsibility for space travel over to private companies.
We're excited to announce that Terran Orbital will be investing $300 million in the Space Coast by bringing its commercial spacecraft and constellation facility to Space Florida's launch and landing facility.
The governor going on to say the new facility will be the largest satellite manufacturing facility in the world and create more than 2,000 jobs.
After COVID delays, the Obama Presidential Center is opening in Chicago later today.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
City of Fort Lauderdale's already doing great work. They've banned plastic straws citywide.
A South Florida restaurant chain helping to clean up the beaches of Fort Lauderdale. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Radcliffe Art and Design Incubator is the velocity accompanying the fellow's rudder, as in a boat. Unless there is movement or action, the planned direction is of little consequence. We encourage the creative ideas into action, and from the experience of doing, we critically assess the feedback, adjust, and set out to rediscover the potentialities of an entrepreneurial mindset.
Stem is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Sushi Sake assisting in the fight to combat pollution. This comes as Fort Lauderdale passes legislation prohibiting some uses of plastic.
And as the network's Gretel Sanchez reports, this group would rather take matters into their own hands.
Sushi Maki Restaurant teamed up with the Debris-Free Ocean Organization and the city of Fort Lauderdale this past Saturday to clean up Las Olas Beach.
I think sustainability is important not just for Sushi Maki, but for any business. This is really eye-opening. You know, we learned that there's just trillions of tons of debris that's in the ocean, and it's probably only increased in the last 18 months with the pandemic, you know, things like face masks. So I think the use of plastics, the prioritization of recycling plastics is more important than ever.
We spoke with DFO's program director about working alongside businesses to reduce the use of plastic.
The City of Fort Lauderdale's already doing great work. They've banned plastic straws citywide. We can celebrate that and use what we find to push for more regulation that'll help prevent the pollution from reaching our beaches.
Volunteers of all ages came to do their part in making our beaches cleaner.
This is actually my first time doing a beach cleanup. I've always was interested in doing this type of stuff, and now I got the opportunity, and it's just been amazing, the energy, seeing the people.
Sushi Maki handed out goodie bags to reward those for their efforts.
So we also partnered with DoorDash to reward volunteers. We prepared this great bag just full of goodies with notebooks from Sushi Maki, and then our stickers just spreading our message, spreading goodness.
Taking care of the environment is one of the priorities here in South Florida, and Sushi Maki is America's first sustainable restaurant since 2012. As you see, they continue to motivate our community to do their part. Reporting in Las Olas Beach, Fort Lauderdale for South Florida Media Network, Gretel Sanchez.
Former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama will be on hand for a groundbreaking ceremony later today. The Obamas are scheduled to attend the ceremony for the opening of the Obama Presidential Center. It was delayed by the pandemic, however. They both have a strong connection to the site's location on the south side of Chicago.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Danelle Dukin.
And I'm Christopher Gomez. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu. Make sure you take care of yourselves and each other.